So I just got done watching The Batman, and man, do I regret putting this movie off. I am so sorry for putting this movie off. I really am. I may not have a Batman shirt, but I have this, and it's probably like the second best thing I can give for a review like this. So, in case anyone has any thoughts about what exactly this film was, let me just say this is probably, and I've heard some other reviews on this, at least from some people that I like, and pretty much almost everyone is in agreement. This is probably the best Batman film that we have gotten in a long time, and probably ever. What I like about this film is that it doesn't discriminate from both the comics and every other media of Batman, like the Arkham games and all that other stuff that like helped shape Batman into like the icon that we all know that he is today. I like that they don't do that because not only is it amazing, but it also just helps shape the character even more and make him more identifiable and just more amazing in every way. I found myself enjoyed by this film and just begging for more. At certain times, I thought it was just gonna stop at like a certain point and we weren't gonna like continue on or something. But like, man, does this movie earn just every little bit of awesomeness and praise that it has gotten so far. It is honestly amazing. I regret putting this movie back. It is so good. The score is amazing. The cinematography is phenomenal. I did not think that we could get this type of cinematography from any kind of superhero or action movie. I don't know, maybe I just haven't seen any of those like groundbreaking action movies that like people have talked about. But man, is this movie just so good. I cannot stop singing its praises. Much like many other people online, I truly believe that this is probably the best Batman film we have ever gotten. I am taking that to my grave. It is so good. I can not recommend this movie enough. And if you guys just want to stop here and take my opinion and go watch it for yourself, definitely do. But if you want to hear my full-fledged opinions on it with spoilers and stuff, please stay tuned. And for all those who don't, click off here because like I'm gonna spoil a lot of stuff. So yeah, let's get started. Let me just say my two favorite shots in the entire film: the chase scene and the ending, where he literally just sets off a flare and everyone nobly follows him in the daylight. I almost cried at that scene. It was so good. I cannot believe that like a scene like that exists in a Batman film of all films. And man, I am in awe of this film. Everything about this film is great. I cannot recommend this film enough, I want to say. There is one problem, but I feel like that's merely scratching the surface of like what exactly makes this film the way it is. I wish they used Alfred more. Don't get me wrong, I get why they did all the stuff they did, and I'm glad they did that with Alfred in this version, but like, I really, really felt they should have used Alfred more in this film because, like, if anything, it felt like they were like not using him enough. He's the guy in the chair. He's the one that's there to guide Bruce when he's feeling bad and just having a bad day where he can't figure things out. And like everything about that is so good in almost every depiction that I've seen in it. And they kind of underutilize him here, like at the ending where everything just happens, and like I was wondering why Bruce wasn't being like, "Is Alfred okay? Is Alfred okay?" No, he doesn't really do that, and I hate that they did that because that's really like the only family that Bruce has left, despite I think it was the aunt. I don't really remember that much. But besides all that stuff with Alfred, there is nothing else I feel that is out of place with this film. I want to do like a full depth analysis on this film because it deserves to be talked about. It deserves to like get all the praise that it does. If it does not win at least like 3 or 2 Oscars, I am going to literally just be like the end of the film with Edward just laughing. it's perfect in the way that like speaks to every newcomer of the franchise and every old comer of the franchise. Because like I I read a bunch of the comics and like I know a bunch of the backstory behind the stuff, and I'm glad that like they depicted this as like the start of Batman, where it takes place around Halloween, and the first foe he really ever truly faces is Riddler, because that's really what happens in like the comics, and I'm glad that they embraced that while also giving it its own unique charm that does not feel like it is taken in one direction, and I feel like in a way it just satisfies everyone, and it is so good. And I don't know what it is about Riddler in this film, but although it's not the way I wanted, I'm so glad we got this version of Riddler. He's this crazy, psychotic person that just tortures other people with questions for his own personal game to put them through the same things that he's been put through in a way that makes sense to him because it's the only way he knows how to feel pleasure. The questions that he makes them solve and the way he leaves them was perfect to me. I cannot think of a better Riddler that leaves the riddles for Batman than this version. This is a perfect version of Riddler, and I am just so in love with this film in every which way with him. I cannot like get over how great this film is. I don't really have that many issues with Selina or Penguin or like any of those other guys like Falcone or Falcone. That's usually what I like to refer to him as because that's usually the way they refer to him. I really, really just love this film. It is great. I felt like some people complain that like they weren't really warranted for the film when the fact of the matter is I think they were. Like Penguin being one that doesn't really need to be there, but I'm glad they had him there cuz like I didn't expect him to be there, and although he doesn't really do anything, he does help further the story in a way that I didn't really see coming. Maybe because I was too distracted by it or something, but man, does it work. On top of that, like all the actors' performances in this are great. I can't remember the guy's name who played that one character from Twilight. I know he's in this film though, and I didn't think that he could do a good job as Batman, but man, is he like shaping up to be one of my favorite Batmans so far. This is amazing. Honestly, the whole thing with just the direction and like I felt like almost every character nailed who they were. There were some points where I felt like that was a little bit out of character, but after re-examining it more and thinking about it, I'm like, nah, that is really something that they would technically do. So I guess that makes sense. I'm not really fond of the ending though, where Selena leaves because I think obviously she's gonna come back because like she's such an important part. You can't really like get rid of her that easily. I think, but I had no idea that this film was going to be as good as it is. Like, I expected this film to be nothing more than a standard Batman film, and I came out loving this film from beginning to end. I really do want to do just like a full in depth analysis of this film, and I don't care if it's like an hour long or anything. I just love this film. This is like my favorite Batman film. Scratch that superhero film so far that I have seen. This is the one that like really embraces Batman for who he is and like really just uses everything to his advantage. I just love this film. If you haven't seen this film, please do. It is amazing, and I honestly can't every other word that I could use that's like a synonym for amazing is how I would describe this film. It's breathtaking, it's amazing. Everything about it is just incredible from the cinematography to the score. I I want to just purchase a full soundtrack of the score. The score is brilliant and I feel it is so good. I never would have expected a Batman score to be like this, but it is so good. I suppose my favorite scene would have to be the chase scene because not only was the cinematography amazing on that, but it just was perfect in every which way. I felt so much. I kid you not. I jumped up and down in my seat just a little bit. And man, was I just like having a joy felt moment with the score and the cinematography and the acting. Man, I would have never thought that a Batman chase scene with possibly the most mundane looking Batmobile chasing the Penguin would be so incredible. That is probably my favorite chase scene in all of cinematic history. This film just is cinema. This is an amazing film. I cannot stress that enough. I love this film from beginning to end, and if you're putting it off, please, please do yourself a favor. Regardless of whether or not you're a Batman or like you're regardless of whether or not you're an old or new Batman fan, I guaranteed you will be satisfied because not only is this just an amazing film that's amazingly heartfelt by its audience and just with everything that happens like so perfectly at all the right points, but you will come out feeling that this is an amazing superhero film that I don't think anyone would have ever expected superhero films to be like. This is like I cannot stress enough. This is the best Batman film I've ever seen. And again, I will take that to my grave. And just I'm just in awe of this movie. This is an amazing film that deserves to be preserved and analyzed over and over and over and over again because it is so great. It is so amazing. I cannot think of any other adjective for amazing that I can use for this film. It's just amazing. Please, just go watch it. It's incredible. I cannot recommend it enough. And for me, it's up there. Not necessarily with Spider Verse, because I feel Spider Verse is on a whole nother level with this. But, like, in terms of a serious story slash superhero movie, this is amazing in every which way. Go watch it. Go watch it. And go watch it. This is an amazing film. Thank you for watching this video, and please do all that stuff. I'm gonna go put this back up on my shelf. This deserves like all the glory it has gotten, and so does the Batman.